Here are 13 scary Disney theories that will ruin your childhood. Disney are the creators of some of the most iconic movies that colored our childhood. However, in this video, we will look at alternative views of what we grew up believing and possibly mess up our childhood. Starting at number 1, Peter Pan. The story of Peter Pan is the story of a hero who is constantly fighting a sailor and his bloodthirsty pirates. However, the closer we look at his story, we notice that some facts just don't add up. Even in the original stories, Peter was depicted as a cold-blooded murderer. Even now, there's a reason to believe that he's the villain, which in turn affects how we see Captain Hook. One theory suggests that Captain Hook's goal is to prevent Peter from abducting innocent children. Another theory implies that Hook's pirates are likely children who Hook saved from Peter. Number 2, Captain Hook, the mermaid. While Captain Hook may have been painted as a hero in the last theory, in this one, his reputation goes down the drain. In Peter Pan, we're made aware that mermaids exist and that they really fear pirates. In the movie The Little Mermaid, we learn that Ariel's mother is dead. Furthermore, in The Little Mermaid's Ariel's Beginnings, it's revealed that Ariel's mom is dead and was in fact killed by a pirate. In the Peter Pan movie, there was a mermaid in Neverland that looked very similar to Ariel, including her red hair and shell bikini. When we put all of these points in one pot, we get this theory. The mermaid that resembles Peter Pan could be Ariel's mother, who was later murdered off-screen by Captain Hook. This might explain why Neptune really wants Ariel to distance herself from humans so badly. He might have an idea of how dangerous they could be. Number 3, Aladdin Future. Moving on to the 1992 classic Aladdin, the movie seems to take place in a generic Middle Eastern province of the past, based on clothing and culture. But what if the movie was actually based in the future? Hear me out. For starters, the genie claims that an outfit looks 2/3 century and later says, 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. If we assume that the genie, at the earliest, was put in the lamp for 10,000 years, somewhere in the 3rd century CE period, he was clearly in existence. Then, these references would date the movies around 10,300 CE earliest. With the way the genie does impressions of 20th century celebrities, such as Jack Nicholson, this could mean that the date is even further into the future. What about the clothing and the culture of the film, you might ask? Well, let's not forget that fashion is cyclical, and this means Crocs might be with us in the future again. And if the movie is based in the future, this might mean that the magic carpet isn't really magic, but in fact, one of civilization's prime pieces of technology. Well, the theory might seem plausible considering no one knows what the future Earth might look like. Number 4, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is the story of a little clownfish who gets taken away and his father has to journey across the ocean to get him back. Or is it? Let's reel back to the beginning of the movie, where we learn that Nemo's mother dies from a barracuda attack. But here's the thing, there was no survivor of the attack. This means that Marlin's vision of Nemo might actually be a manifestation of his grief. Also, it's interesting to note that Nemo means nobody in Latin.
Time for school! Time for school!
All right, I'm up. It's time for school.
Whoa!
Number 5, Moana. The story of Moana was quite lovely, but in this theory, it takes a dark turn. We all remember that when she set sail on her way to Te Fiti, she encountered a huge storm, and when she awakes, she finds herself on the island where Maui has been stranded on. Well, the hypothesis is that Moana actually died during the storm. Crazy, right? But here's the reasoning. When she passes away, she's transported to the magical world where Te Fiti, the land of the monsters, as well as her grandmother's spirit are found. And when she helped save Te Fiti by restoring the heart, she was restored back to the human world. It might seem like it's all imagination, but you can't dismiss the theory entirely.
Boat snack!
Number 6, Snow White. Snow White is known to all of us, but not much is said about the prince. Well, what we're about to discover in this theory might knock your socks off. The prince is not real, instead, a representation of death. The theory goes that in the beginning of the movie, Death makes an appearance at the well, and Snow White comes too close to the edge of the well. Her running back to the castle signifies her escape from death. Also, the different appearances of the prince at specific moments seem to support these claims. This means that while Snow White lay poisoned in her coffin, she was actually waiting for death to release her soul. And when the prince kisses Snow White, he departs with her soul to heaven, which is signified by the kingdom in the sky, which we see them standing under at the end of the film. Poof, there goes happily ever after. Number 7. The Emperor's New Groove. While this theory might not change how you view the Emperor's New Groove, it's nerve-wracking to say the least. Remember the fly that screams out to Kuzco for help before being devoured by the spider? Here's the thing. Animals that are able to speak are those that were initially human, that is, Kuzco and Izma. When in their animal state, neither is shown communicating with other animals. We can therefore conclude that the fly was once a human. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Kuzco witnessed a human who'd been turned into a fly get eaten by that spider. If you're still here, comment spider down below. Number 8. Cars. Have you ever wondered why the cars in Cars have door handles, yet there are no humans to get into them? Well, there's a disturbing theory that attempts to explain that. Humans once lived there, and still do. The reason we don't see them is because they've evolved to live inside these cars, having control over them like some kind of bizarre external suit. This is why these cars are so human-like with their eyes on the windscreen. Number 9. Wreck-It Ralph. This theory makes one character's backstory even sadder than we first imagined. The character is Calhoun from Hero's Duty game, whose husband was eaten by a cybug in her sight. One detail that stands out throughout the movie is that cybugs change into whatever they consume. This means that Calhoun had to shoot the cybug that had just eaten her husband as the creature was turning into the image of him. Sad, right? Number 10. Toy Story. Ever wondered where Jessie from Toy Story came from? Here's a very interesting theory. Jessie's former owner, Emily, who we encountered in the sad sequence of When She Loved, is in fact Andy's mother. This is supported by the fact that when we see a young Andy, he is wearing a hat that resembles Jessie's, and it is missing a ribbon, thus may have been his mother's. While there are ifs in that theory, we know Pixar is capable of sneaking in such a fact. Number 11. Monsters Inc. This theory tries to predict the grim fate of the fan favorite Sully. We're aware that in the Monsters Inc. universe, the monsters are afraid of humans. Randall goes on to profess what he thinks humans do to monsters, saying, "I heard humans skin monsters and make toilet covers out of their fur." Sully dismisses Randall by calling it nonsense. Well, if a bathroom image from Partysaurus Rex, a Toy Story short, is anything to go by, then Sully should have considered Randall's words. Number 12. Up. This theory is no different from Moana's and turns a sad movie into an even sadder affair. It suggests that the night after Carl gets the offer for his house, he dies. Onwards, we witness his rise to the afterworld, depicted by the entire housefly, while Russell acts as his guardian angel. Number 13. Frozen. This theory sort of ruins the wonderful relationship between Kristoff and Sven. If you take a keen look at Kristoff's coat, you'll notice that it's made from fur. Closer look reveals that the fur seems to be made from reindeer. Imagine how awkward it would be, Kristoff's best friend being a reindeer, yet he's wearing a reindeer pelt. However, the theory does kinda make sense. I mean, the ice harvesters may have killed Sven's mother and left baby Sven to be raised by Kristoff, while gifting Kristoff with a pelt to wear too.
Just knock. Why isn't she knocking?
And there you have it, folks. Did we bring your childhood crumbling down, or were you simply unimpressed? Comment down below and let us know what you think of those theories. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more such content. See you in the next video.